Well, the focusing of the eyes is referred to as accommodation. And basically that's just the changes in the thickness of the lens to keep an image focused onto the retina as the distance between the eyes and the object varies. So as you bring things that are further away close up, that lens is going to ball up in order to focus out light onto the retina. When it moves further away, then the lens is going to get flatter in order to keep that image onto the retina. And basically that changing in the thickness of the lens is referred to as accommodation. Now when viewing an object, the light rays are bent or refracted by the cornea and the lens in order to focus that object onto the retina here so you can determine what you're looking at. The bending of the light occurs by the cornea and the lens. Now the curvature of the cornea remains constant, while the curvature of the lens can change depending on the lens elasticity and contraction of those ciliary muscles. Well, visual acuity is a rating of the ability to see objects in sharp detail, or the sharpness of vision. So we usually rate this as the 20/20, somebody's 20/20 vision, 20/15, 20/50. Numbers vary depending on the vision. And basically, a person with normal vision, 20/20 vision, can read a line of letters marked 20/20 while standing 20 feet away from what's called a Snelling eye chart. And so the Snelling eye chart is shown here, and you've probably seen these before in the doctor's office, read these. They have the letters. So a person with normal vision from 20 feet away can read the letters marked 20/20. If you have a vision rating of, say, 20/15, well, this is better than normal vision. Here, the person at 20 feet is able to see the details that would require someone with normal vision to move up to 15 feet to see. So the first number is always a person you're talking about, and they're always standing 20 feet away from the chart. If they're 20/20, at 20 feet away, they can read the letters that a normal person with normal vision can read 20 feet away. If they're 20/15, then that person can read at 20 feet what a person with normal vision would have to move up to 15 feet to read those same letters. So they have better than average vision. Well, if you have worse than average vision, let's say you're 20/50, that means that you have to move up to 20 feet to read the letters that somebody with normal vision can read at 50 feet. So again, the first number always represents the person you're talking about who's reading the letters. So if they're 20 feet away and the normal person can read them at 50 feet, then that person is 20/50. What if they're 20/70? That means that that person has to move up to 20 feet to read the same letters that a person with normal vision can read at 70 feet away. Visual acuity below 2200 with corrective lenses is considered legally blind. However, you'll have people who are 2200 and they're wearing corrective lenses and they have better vision than the 2200, and so they're not considered legally blind. So you can develop visual problems due to alterations in refraction, or the bending of light. So refraction errors are optical imperfections that prevent the eye from properly bending light, which is going to cause blurred vision. And the causes of these refractive errors include 1, the overall length of the eyeball, 2, the curvature of the lens, and 3, the curvature of the cornea. So we're going to look at the primary refractive orders being nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. So nearsighted, or myopia, this is a condition in which the person can see close objects but distant objects are blurry. So shown here, here's an image of what you'd see with myopia. You can see the person close up, but the distant objects are blurry. Whereas in hyperopia, or farsightedness, when you're looking at an object that's close up, it's going to be blurry, and further away, or objects that are further away, are going to be clear. The cause of myopia is due to either an eyeball that's too long or a lens that's too strong, too steeply curved, which is going to cause the image to be focused in front of the retina when looking at a distant object. So as you can see here, the light's coming in, it's coming through the cornea, and the cornea is going to bend the light slightly, and then the lens is going to fine-tune that bending to put it right back onto the retina, which is shown here in orange. However, if you have an eyeball that's, say, too long or a lens that's too strong, that image is going to be focused in front of the retina instead of on the retina. Now the way that you can correct this is using concave lenses or diverging lenses. So when the image comes in, the light rays come in, it diverges those, spreads them out, which is going to make the image look larger as these light rays are spread out. And then the cornea and the lens are going to bend that light back to its normal spot onto the retina. So by making the image longer here by diverging lens, that's accounting for the bending of the light here by the cornea and the lens, so they can go right back onto the retina. In farsightedness or hyperopia, this is where the person can see distant objects, but close objects are blurry. As shown here, here's hyperopia, as I said before. Image that's close is blurry. Images that are further away, they're going to be clear. This can be due to an eyeball that's too short, as shown here, or the lens is too weak, it's too flat, it's not able to focus the image where it needs to be onto the retina. So it winds up focusing the image behind the retina. So when light comes in, cornea and the lens are bending the light, however the image is coming in behind the retina, and so it appears blurry. So you can correct this with converging lenses or convex lenses. In this case right here with a convex lens, it's going to make the image look smaller, so it's going to bend the light in, and that's going to help to account for the image that's normally behind the retina. Here the cornea and lens is going to be able to focus it right onto the retina, so you'd be able to see that clearly. So an astigmatism is either due to a cornea or lens that has an irregular curvature resulting in blurred vision. When you're looking at this image here, you see the image here in the center is okay and the sides are okay, but up here on the top and down below, that's where either the cornea or the lens has an abnormal curvature in it, making it blurry. Now, one of the ways that you can test yourself for an astigmatism is to look at a chart like this, and you look at the very center using just one eye, and looking at the center, are the lines that are around that blurry at all? And if they are blurry, then that can indicate that you have an astigmatism in this area of your field of view. And here's an image right here with the astigmatism. You can see it's blurry in this area, but the other areas aren't blurry. LASIK surgery is a surgery to correct the curvature of the cornea for conditions such as farsightedness, nearsightedness, and astigmatism. And so what they can do is they can go through and cut a circular flap from the center of the cornea, and then they use a laser to reshape the cornea to help to focus that light back onto the retina. So I'm going to show you a video here.
That have made leaps and bounds in the last decade, laser-assisted in situ keratoma lucis, or LASIK surgery, is among the most commonly performed. It is estimated that more than 600,000 LASIK surgeries are performed each year in the U.S. alone for the treatment of nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism. Most LASIK patients report being satisfied with the results of.
I think one of the most interesting aspects of this is when they have to cut open the cornea here. They don't go all the way through the cornea, and so this is one of the things that determines whether you can have LASIK surgery or not, is how thick your cornea is, because they have to have enough room to cut the flap off and then reshape the cornea, and then the flap comes back. So they'll use a method where they'll have a razor blade that comes through, cuts the cornea, and then they remove that flap, and then they use the laser to reshape that cornea. And if you've had this done, or you know people who've had it done, it's pretty amazing where they can go in with vision like this that you see on the left-hand side, and then come out within a few hours and have vision like this.